What's up guys, this is Jake over at Gatekeeper Off-Road. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install these mounts for the Can-Am X3 model. These are our knuckle pod mounts. One important thing to note with these is that your rim back spacing needs to be at least a 5+2 or greater. The stock 6+1 wheels will not clear with these mounts. There's some clearance issues there with the amount of travel these things have. So if you do have stock wheels, fortunately these mounts will not work for you. But moving forward, let's go ahead and see here what you're gonna need to install these. So this is gonna be basically everything you need for one side. So it'll come with the outer bracket, the brace, couple of 1/4-inch bolts, washers, and nuts. And then the tools you're gonna need to install it, you're gonna need a 4mm Allen wrench, 7/16 or 11mm socket, a 15mm socket, wrench, Loctite, a torque wrench as well. And then if you're using the KC lights like we do, they usually come with a nut that takes a 17mm wrench. And obviously anything to take off your wheels. Your 15mm socket is going to be used on your hub bolts. And that's pretty much everything you need there. So let's go ahead and get to it. So the first step is going to be to jack up the vehicle and get the wheels off. I got that already done for you there. Now the second step is going to be to take off your caliper bolts. You got one there and one there. And those are the 15mm bolts that I already removed. Next thing I like to do is just pre-install one of these 1/4-inch bolts there into the bracket. You're going to slide it behind this brake line. Line it up with your caliper bolt holes. Thread those two bolts in with the caliper in place. It's very important to note that when you're installing these caliper bolts, you're going to want to use Loctite if the manufacturer specs that out, or if it has Loctite on it from the manufacturer. It's always a good idea to put Loctite back on it, and also make sure you're checking for your torque specs. So once you have these two caliper bolts in, you're going to take your support bracket there over this bolt, and you're going to want to install a nut and a washer on that. And I wouldn't tighten anything down just yet. You can see the placement of this bolt in there. It's a little bit tricky to get to. There is room though to sneak down in here and get a socket or a Allen wrench in there to hold that. That way you can tighten this side. But first what we're going to do is install the light up here with the bolt. That way you make sure your holes are lined up and everything's straight. Alright, so once you've got this nut in here and both plates are lined up, you can go ahead and tighten this bolt over here by holding it with an Allen wrench on the back and your 11mm or 7/16 socket on the front. You're going to want to make sure these are torqued before you put this bracket on, because as you can see, it does block it. Alright, so a little tip for when you guys are tightening this support bracket bolt. If you have an Allen wrench, you're going to want to probably slip it right there between the rotor and the knuckle, and you can see it down in there. So basically we're just sliding that thing in there, and all you're going to do with that is just hold it while you wrench on this side and tighten that back down. So the last step here, depending on your kit and the time that you ordered this, you're either going to get one of these or you won't. This is just an optional piece here. You can use a zip tie as well to hold this brake line in place, or you can use one of these one-hole straps to go around the brake line and hold it in place. This might be available in the kits, it might not. You can always use a zip tie right there, like I said, in this hole, just to keep it from moving. Something to keep in mind is if you have control arm skid plates like this, you will have to trim them, seeing as these brackets do come very close to these control arms. This is the only way to fit the lights in here. So if you do have a skid plate, you may have to trim along the bottom there, up to here probably, just to make sure you have enough clearance so when you turn, your lights aren't going to hit your skid plates. All right, and after that, your install for the brackets is pretty much complete. The only thing left to do now is to get the wheel back on there and run your wires. So we show this in another video, but your wires are gonna run basically following your brake lines. You're gonna run it and zip tie it up the brake line there and get your wiring down from your switch. You're going to want to test for clearance, steer back and forth, full travel and full bump, just to make sure everything's good and doesn't need to be adjusted. And that's about it. So these are the knuckle pod mounts for the Can-Am X3, 5+2 wheels or greater. Stock 6+1s will not work with these. Other than that, you're pretty good to go. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Check them out on the website, gatekeeperoffroad.com. If you guys have any questions at all, reach out to us and we will help in any way we can. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on the lookout for more, and we'll see you soon.